Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's Steve on the Nightly Day, near the woods again. Right, second excerpt in this is mushrooms. What to do, what not to do. I think you'll be alright. Now this is the excerpt as it says. People are more nervous about gathering wild fungi than any other wild foods. Certainly, it is important to be doubly sure about correct identification. The species described in the following pages are all common and quite readily distinguished. But don't rely on any single formula for distinguishing an edible species from an inedible one. And as important as correct identification is freshness. Most cases of so-called toadstool poisoning result not from the poisonous types, but from old or contaminated specimens of edible species. Right. Which means don't pick the old ones. They're riddled with insects and other nasties. So look for fresh, fairly young mushrooms and avoid any that are wet, old or obviously infested. By insects. Twist them from the ground or cut them very close to the ground with a knife as the base of the stem with a hope in identification. Check again to make sure that insects have not begun tunneling up the stem. Discard all dubious specimens and clean off any dirt before putting the mushrooms into an open basket. Double check and identify their freshness at home and wipe them clean. Don't try to wash them, as fungi can absorb great quantities of water. If you have a surplus, remember that most species dry well, threaded on strings and hung in a warm, dry place until they're brittle. So basically that's all common sense stuff. Let's go pick a mushroom. That ain't too difficult. They all look hard. There we got Sep, Field Horse, wow, the puffball, Delicacy, Oyster, Shaggy Cap. That's it. Let's go for the Parasol. Its posh name is Lepiota procera. One of the most conspicuous edible fungi, growing up to 12 inches, that's 30 centimeters tall, and 9 inches across, that's 23 centimeters. The parasol mushroom is an easy species to identify and one of the best to eat. When young, the caps are like domed beehives, which is then open flat, leaving a double white ring, which eventually becomes quite free of the stem so that it can be moved up and down. The mushrooms are best picked when still opened. At this stage, they're obvious candidates for stuffing, for instance with sausage meat, and baking in the oven under strips of bacon. It's better to avoid using herbs, tomatoes and other sharp flavoured additions to the stuffing. Parasols have the texture of raw fillet steak. That's typical of most wild mushrooms. So if you cook it, you eat it, you close your eyes, you can imagine you're having a steak. I wonder. They have a very delicate taste, and both of these could be lost if drowned by more strong flavoured ingredients. The ideal accompaniment for most cooked fungi are mild and more passive foods, such as white fish, potatoes, eggs and cream. Now you got parasol fritters. Parasols are excellent sliced and fried with bacon or grilled. But as a change from conventional recipes, try parasol fritters, which are a good way of using the flatter, more mature caps. Prepare the caps by removing the stalks, wiping them clean, don't wash or peel. And if they're very large, cut in two. Make a batter out of 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 egg and a cup of milk. Dust the parasols with flour, dip in the batter and frying vegetable oil over a moderate heat for not less than 5 minutes, by which time the fritters should be golden brown. It's a common mushroom of grassland and wood margins, July to November. It's a dry, scaly, pale brown, white gills on a hollow stem. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, that's a parasol. Very good. Anyhow, that's the end of the excerpt for today. And you know what today is? It's Friday. I've got 2 more excerpts and then I'll go back to the herbs, or related, and let you know on the movement and progress of the drink I've been making and experimenting on. And there's a camping tent again. Looks unoccupied, probably put there for the hell of it. Anyway, I'm wandering around now to catch the gym for 6, and then I thought head on to work. So here's a truck. Well, the 90 days nearly over. And I may start advertising for the education today. I may just continue what I'm doing now till the 90 days is up. Because things have changed over this video log. They've changed a lot. Attitude, fitness, it's all gone by the by. The old one is gone and the relatively new one is here. And there's some fast trains parked up. Anyway, Steve on a 90 day. Speak to you later. Bye.